you are a fan of the YouTube channel SMG4, you probably know about SMG4's popular character, Meggy Splitzer, an Orange Platoon Inkling girl, or at least she used to be an Inkling, until June of 2019, when she was kidnapped, had all of her ink extracted down to the DNA, and became human. She got used to her new form fairly quickly. She trained hard and won the final Splatfest in dedication to the rival she deeply missed. Alright, so the first thing I want to talk about in this video is how and why I became a fan of SMG4. Believe it or not, it was Mario's Pinkest video that drew my attention to SMG4. Back in late January of 2020. Then I decided to enjoy myself watching more recent funny SMG4 videos of that time. That's when I was introduced to this teenage girl character. She seemed to be more serious and had quite a unique personality among the characters. After watching just a few episodes that included her, I already liked the character. But then I realized that, wait, she's that iconic Inkling that I kept seeing in SMG4's thumbnails throughout the past years browsing YouTube. Well, what happened to her? I wanted to go and find out. So then I went ahead and saw Mario in the Experiment. Oh, I guess I'll find out here. I ended up watching the second half of the anime arc, and oh my gosh, that was a blast. Now, I know that several fans dislike the anime arc, and I'm sure they have their own reasons to. But I'm going to talk about what I saw during my first impressions on the anime arc. I saw storytelling. I was amazed that SMG4 was using his meme posting comedy channel to tell a serious story through multiple episodes. I saw adventure. I really enjoy adventurous storytelling, especially when it involves a lot of characters. I saw characters developing, again, happening on a meme posting channel. Oh, and character relationships are developing too. I saw incredible cinematic story execution. In my opinion, I think the cinematography was done so well. Just in general, with pretty much any story, regardless whether it's good or bad, I believe that how it's executed is critically important. I saw action. That's another thing I really enjoy, especially when it involves teamwork. And of course, I saw dark moments. Just wow. Although fan opinions went up and down on the anime arc, I loved it. And then that girl, Meggy, who just went through something that changed her life, turning human, she continued this story with her own character arc that lasted all the way until the final Splatfest. That occurred months later. My goodness. Okay, so what if I'm overly fascinated about this? I just did not expect a meme posting comedy channel to actually be doing this stuff, but they are, and it's awesome, in my opinion. And that is why, that very reason is why I became a dedicated fan of SMG4, and it's why I became a fan of Meggy. I think this is also why she's a popular SMG4 character. Seriously. Luke, Kevin, and their team have my respect. I really enjoyed how Meggy's character was developed, and I was deeply engaged in her story arc. So, like many others, I have invested time in trying to contribute to her character development. Imagine an emotional former Squid Girl growing up into a mature and healthy being. Oh, and possibly a fantastic policewoman. And that is why I have spent over 3 months working on upgrading Meggy's human model. SMG4 fans, Meggy fans, I proudly present to you Human Meggy Deluxe. This add-on is a potential upgrade to Kevin's original add-on for Human Meggy. Human Meggy Deluxe is now available on the Gary's Mod Workshop. The link to this add-on is in the description of this video. Even before the add-on, I have spent the previous year casually working on Meggy's model. It's so exciting that all of that messing around has finally brought me to today, and this video for you. And what better feature could I start with than the main feature and inspiration for this project? Meggy now has a secondary hairstyle. Yes, it's a ponytail. Okay, but why a ponytail? I'm pretty sure that many of us fans want to contribute to Meggy's character development. I know I do. I think that for Meggy in this current season, designing appropriate outfits and hairstyles may currently help the character continue forward. But I'm gonna talk about how I personally got inspired to make this ponytail. When I was introduced to Meggy's character arc, I really grew into the idea of how the former Squid Girl might struggle training for the final Splatfest in her new human form. At the time, I believed, because I saw that the previous Splatfests in SMG4 always came around the late springtime or summertime. Therefore, I believed that the final Splatfest wouldn't come until around that time of year as well. Yes, it was still late January of 2020 for me. I thought I had a small time window available to write ideas and suggestions that I believed would help aid in how Meggy's story could be told in the final Splatfest. I really did not want to miss this chance. So I began writing story concepts for Meggy and the final Splatfest. I was so excited to write this proposal. My imagination flew with possibilities. And one of those ideas was, when the final Splatfest was just around the corner, Meggy would put her hair back into a ponytail to show that she was dedicated to the win, even if she can no longer do what she could as an inkling. Yeah, then of course, February 13th of 2020. I was shocked when I saw that the final Splatfest was coming far earlier than I thought it would, and I learned that the story I was proposing was already pretty much finished. But the ponytail idea never left me. Ever since Meggy's destiny, I have been developing more concepts of Meggy, especially with how she could become a fantastic policewoman, and showing how she could grow over time. As she pulls her hair into a ponytail, I envisioned this as a symbol that she's maturing. When I posted the concept art of Meggy in a ponytail on social media, people really seemed to like it. It was definitely a green light to continue forward on developing Meggy's ponytail. I was greatly encouraged to 3D model it for Gary's mod. The ponytail itself wasn't too difficult to 3D model. I had a couple of speed bumps along the way, like rigging. The textures were quite fun to paint, although a bit difficult at times. I got through the texturing stage on both the tail and the base. Ragdoll physics was fun to test and simulate within Blender. Yeah, although it's not quite easy to set up, but Blender can simulate ragdolls. As I worked on the ponytail, the project grew bigger, and I decided to greatly enhance the model as well. Let's talk about the structure of the add-on. Human Meggy Deluxe comes with multiple models and has its very own spawn list. There are 3 ragdolls of Meggy. The first one is Meggy in her regular hair. The other 2 are different versions of Meggy in her ponytail. One is the ponytail rooted at the top of her head. The other ragdoll is the ponytail rooted at the bottom. Now, why do we have 2 models of the ponytail hairstyle? Well, with the concept of the ponytail that's rooted at the top, although that model does not support hats or beanies, this was the iconic style of the ponytail I envisioned for Meggy as she ages. This is living now! If Meggy's wearing hats or beanies, she needs to have the ponytail rooted at the bottom. A bottom-rooted ponytail was originally part of my attempts to enhance Officer Meggy, but this add-on does not contain any police outfits. Human Meggy Deluxe as well comes with player model versions of each of these variants. And Human Meggy Deluxe comes with independent models of Meggy's gear. With these independent models, you can literally remake Meggy on anything. Flexes. With the Face Poser tool, you can manipulate Meggy's face with different facial expressions. For those who have worked with Human Meggy's original model, these face flexes shown aren't really anything new, though they have been slightly improved. Now, this is an animation that I made back in July of 2020.
SMG4, please don't turn me into marketable plushie.
Yeah. This animation doesn't really use any of the original face flexes. That's because I made these face flexes myself originally for use in my Blender animations, like this one, and yes, this one too. Gary's Mod users and Meggy animators, I am proud to say that I have included my custom face flexes into Human Meggy Deluxe. Meggy has 34 new advanced face controllers. This will help Gary's Mod animators to provide better facial expressions for Meggy, allowing her to be even more expressive. Oh, and her eyelid's fully closed now. And even better, face flexes are not the only way to manipulate Meggy's newly expressive face rig. Face bones. You can also manipulate Meggy's face with bones. Yes, bones! I have rigged Meggy's lips and jaw to work with an alternative way of expressing Meggy by transforming the jaw and parts of her lips using the Advanced Bone tool in Gary's Mod. The Advanced Bone tool can as well mess with Meggy's eyebrows, teeth, and her, bangs. Movable gear. With the Advanced Bone tool, again, you can also move Meggy's gear as it is still part of the model. You can make adjustments and tweaks. Rigging. The rigging for Meggy's model has been massively enhanced. Yeah, this was one of the most challenging parts of the project. Meggy's original model binds with one bone per vertex, or per point like this. I spent quite a bit of time fixing up the rig so that the model could deform a bit more smoothly and clipping issues may be reduced. Now, weights is the term that describes how much a bone or joint affects parts of the model's surface. Mainly what I've done here was greatly smooth up the weights of the model. Textures and materials. Many of Meggy's textures and materials have been fixed up. Some have even been remade. I'm going to start with the eyes. These eyes were actually quite satisfying to remake. This is the eye texture of the original model, and this is the eye texture that I made. I redesigned the eye texture using Autodesk Sketchbook, which I find is excellent software for digital drawings, sketches, and textures. My goal was to make the original better, but it sucks for me that remaking this could end up becoming something that's too different than what we're used to. Along with the texture, I recreated the shading of the materials as well. I even created a bump map for the pupils and gave the eyes better specular shading. I tried to avoid making this too different than what we're used to, but the eyes are still very likely the first thing I'll notice when I see people using this add-on. If you do not like this new eye material, you can actually set it back to the original eye material by setting Meggy's skin to skin 1. I personally call the original eye material the Legacy Eyes. The textures for Meggy's headphones have also been enhanced. Whatever these are called, vents? I don't know. I redesigned these things so that they have a higher definition. This is what they originally looked like, and this is what they look like now. I also decided to redesign the seams as well. The seams of the shirt, sleeves, and pants. They affect the normal maps too. Alright Meggy, say ah!
Ah!
This is what the inside of Meggy's mouth looks like in the original model. I decided to repaint it, and this is what it looks like in the Deluxe model. Finally, let's get to what I changed in the model itself. I went and modified the shape of the ears.
Baba Booey.
I tried to make them look a little more distinct. If you don't like this change, you can crank up the Legacy Ears value with the Face Poser tool. For Meggy's regular hairstyle, I distorted the hair's inner side. This way Meggy doesn't have a bald spot on the bottom of her head. If you don't like this change, you can crank up the Legacy Hair value using the Face Poser tool. In Meggy's original model, she appeared to have an undershirt underneath her main shirt. Without textures, it looked like this. I decided to turn this into an actual undershirt. You can switch between the regular shirt and the undershirt, just like you change any body group in Gary's mod. For the player model version, you can set her undershirt to be any color you prefer. I have ever so slightly reshaped the eyelashes. Meggy now has shoulders. Unfortunately, this may not be very useful for animating in Gary's mod, but I did rig the shoulders just in case you want to extract the model for some other program or something. The headphones are now fully modeled. In the original model, there wasn't an inside to the headphones. I decided to model the inside of these headphones and add texturing. You can now bend the headphones with either face flexes or with bones. The beanie is fully modeled now too. It may not be perfectly textured, but it does have an inside as well. The goggles are also now fully modeled and can be seen from the back and the front. Lastly, Meggy's boots are now fully modeled. The insides of the pair have been fully modeled and fully textured. You can play with them like ragdolls. Once again, you can now work with Meggy's gear without having to work with Meggy herself. Now, there are still several other things about this add-on that I have not covered in this video. However, what I covered in this video was information about this specific add-on. But hopefully, I have even more exciting news. Human Meggy Deluxe is not planned to be this add-on only. Actually, this add-on is just the beginning of Human Meggy Deluxe. Mr. the Wizard, the creator of Meggy's police outfit, has been working on his own Meggy-related project. He's been working on a lawyer outfit at the same time I've been working on this project. When I learned about this, I contacted him, and we teamed up, along with texture artist and 3D modeler C Art, and Splatoon animator Wing Fury, who offered to animate the release trailer I originally planned for Meggy's ponytail. We all helped one another as we could to bring Meggy up to the next level. We're calling the overall project Human Meggy Deluxe. As I presented to you my initial part in Human Meggy Deluxe, Wizard and C Art have more to come, mostly new outfits for Meggy. And they are using these models that I enhanced. You can check them out on Twitter and stay up to date on their progress. I really appreciate their support for this project. Now finally, I'm going to be leaving social media for a really long time. My Twitter account has been scheduled tweets all the way to next year. For now, I have to say goodbye so I can focus on the next chapter in my life. It was great making contributions for the SMG4 community. I'm never going to forget that my most successful piece of art, by far, was a 3D model of big SMG4. And now, Luke and Kevin, and editor James too, I cannot thank you guys enough for changing my life with Mario's Pingus video, and for showing me how a comedy meme channel can tell impactful stories. It's brought a lot of inspiration for my future dreams. And that's everything I have to say. Thank you all so much for watching this 20-minute video. It means a lot. I put a ton of work into the video itself. I hope you enjoy the hard work I put into Meggy's model. And now I'm signing off the online realm for a long time. Thank you all so much for the love and support you've given my passionate hard work. And unless we meet again, it was nice knowing you all. Goodbye, everyone.